You ever have one of those nights where you suddenly find yourself free, but none of your friends apparently are free, and you got nobody to play games with? Or you go through the effort of setting up a game night, and then your friends cancel on you.
You maniac! You blew it up! Oh, damn you! God damn you all to hell!
Yeah, Mr. Hudson, I hate it when that happens. So today we're going to talk about my 5 favorite digital versions of board games that you can play by yourself or online with other people for those times when you don't have a group of friends to play board games with. So we're going to talk about my 5 favorite. Now on this list I own physical and digital versions of all of these games, or I have played all these games in both versions, so I have something to compare them with. So Isle of Skye is number 5. Isle of Skye is a game about, well, Scottish traders?
If it's no Scottish, it's crap!
What he said. But in the game, you are basically trying to earn points by placing tiles in certain configurations. That scoring parameter changes from game to game, so what tile configuration may work in one game doesn't necessarily work in the next. It's not one of my favorite board games, but I really enjoyed the digital version for a couple of reasons. One, setup and set down is really easy. You just start the game. There's no getting the board set up. But more than that, when you're placing the tiles, sometimes the little sheep on your tiles have to go sideways or upside down, or they end up in weird positions. But in the digital version, when you rotate your tiles to interlock them, the icons on the tiles also rotate, so you don't get stuck with a bunch of weird looking boards. And to me, it's more aesthetically pleasing. So that's number 5, Isle of Skye. So number 4 is a game that reminds me of one of my favorite TV shows.
It can be a dangerous place, but it's our last best hope for peace. This is the story of the last of the Babylon stations. The year is 2258. The name of the place is Babylon 5.
Okay, so yeah, it's not Babylon 5, but it reminds me of Babylon 5. And when you see some of the spaceships and some of the bases on there, you'll get it. Also the fact that there are all these different factions warring amongst each other. There's just a lot of similarities, but that could just be my imposing on top of the game. But Star Realms is a really fun game. Now, what's neat about Star Realms is if you buy it, well, there's a free-to-play version on Steam, which gives you a couple of levels that you can play for free to see if you like it. Same on your phone download it on your phone app, try it a couple of games, see if you like it before you buy it. That purchase crosses platforms, so you can play it on Steam and your phone app, which is really good. Some games don't give you that option. You have to buy it separately. So that's a really good bonus. I find, however, that playing it on the phone, I can't. It's too small for my eyesight to be able to read some of the cards, so I have to play it on the PC. But it's a really fun deck building game where you, that reminds me kind of like Marvel Legendary, where you can generate, with your deck, you can generate money to buy things, and you can generate power to fight things. And you try to, but instead of working together, you're working against your opponent or against the AI. Now, there are challenges in it. There are turn-based games where you can play with other people, and there are live games that you can play with other people, and there's an arena version where you can play against people. There's a lot of different modes of the game, which is neat. It's also really inexpensive, and it's a lot of fun. And you can try it for free, so there's no reason for you not to try number 4, Star Realms. So number 3 on my list, Mysterium, a game about mediums and ghosts.
That was scary.
Okay, it's not that scary. So the digital version of Mysterium is really neat. There's a lot of neat animations. The artwork looks phenomenal. They did a really good job of making this game look good. It's also super cheap. And you can get it and play it. Now, I do believe that it's an Asmodee game, so your sign-in should work for both your PC and your phone. I have not tested that yet, however, but for me, it's a fun little mobile game. I can play it on my phone, and I can play Mysterium, and I don't have to have a group of people to work with. And it has a story mode, and it has a normal campaign, a normal one-shot mode, like the board game does. So it's fun. So number 2 on our list is a winner of some game awards.
Winner of the Beijing Film Festival's coveted Crying Monkey Award.
No, not that award. Golden Geek Awards. And we're talking about Scythe. It's one of my favorite games to play with people, but a lot of my friends don't enjoy it as much as I do, which is problematic when you want to play a game, but people don't want to play it with you. The digital version of Scythe, however, is really, really good. And the great thing about it is, it'll make you realize how bad you are at Scythe. When you first start it, you're like, oh, I've played Scythe a few times. I know what I'm doing. And then you'll get decimated by the AI. And then you'll start learning some tricks and some tips. And you'll get better at it. And then you might think, oh, I'm going to play against some real people. And then realize you still haven't learned enough. So it's really, even if you have a team, a group to play Scythe with, this makes my list because it'll help improve your actual game with your group. So, and it's really well done. It's the AI is smooth. The artwork is phenomenal. It even has little options to like paint your miniatures so that you can change their appearance. It only has the base version so far. It does not have all the expansions that Scythe has in the physical world, but it's a really good port of a board game into a digital version. So number 2 is Scythe. And number 1...
Look, up in the sky! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's John Cena!
No, it's not John Cena, and it's not Superman. It's Sentinels of the Multiverse. Now, a lot of people, I've talked about Sentinels of the Multiverse. You know I love some Sentinels of the Multiverse. I'm going to say this. I think I may actually enjoy Sentinels of the Multiverse better on digital. A lot of the bookkeeping is just gone. Sentinels of the Multiverse has a lot of bookkeeping, especially if you start playing some of the more complicated villains, or you start playing the villain teams. Now you got to track 4 villains, or heaven forbid you're playing Oblivion and now you've got to track multiple environments, multiple playing areas, multiple villains. There's a lot, and almost all those have ongoing effects. It just becomes a lot of bookkeeping. The digital version eliminates all of that for you. I had to buy it separately on PC than I did my phone, but I'm going to tell you right now, you don't want to buy it on your phone. I have a Razer phone, which is meant for gaming. It has 16 gigs of RAM, and it still has a hard time running some of the more complicated iterations of Sentinels. So if you want to run those complicated iterations, you want to play against super villain teams, where there's 4 or 5 villains on the board plus 5 heroes plus environments, just go ahead and play it on your PC. And with Oblivion coming out soon on it, you're definitely going to want that on PC. But that to me is the #1 digital port of a board game to a digital video game, is Sentinels of the Multiverse, because it eliminates all that bookkeeping. It lets you play online with your friends. If your friends have the game, they can join your game and you can still play together. Now the game doesn't have a voice component where you can talk, but you can Twitch or Skype or Discord or whatever it is you want to do for voice, and you and your friends can hang out in a chat room and play a digital version of the board game, whether you're in the same city or the same state or even in the same country, it lets you play games with your friends, and it lets you play a really good game with your friends no matter where you are. So that's number one, Sentinels in the Multiverse. So that's what you can do next time your friends can't make it to game night and you are still wanting to have that experience of playing some board games. There you go. We'll see you later.